The civilization you were born into is not how humans were meant to live. It is a radical experiment, one so new, so fragile, that every single person who lived before the last 400 generations never experienced anything like it. For more than 99.9% of human history, the world we call normal simply did not exist. But here's what nobody talks about. The humans who lived through all of that may have been more capable. And the answer to why we forgot that changes everything we think we know about what we are. The conventional story goes like this. Humans started simple. We dragged ourselves out of the dark, invented fire and language and tools, and through sheer intelligence we climbed toward the modern world. Progress was a straight line. Each generation smarter, safer, more advanced than the last. It is a story that feels obviously true. It is also incomplete in a way that is almost embarrassing. Because the story usually begins with us Homo sapiens as the only human species that ever mattered. But that is not what the fossil record shows. When our ancestors were living in caves and chasing animals across the African plains 200,000 years ago, they were not alone. There were at least 6 other species of human beings walking the earth, not ancestors, contemporaries. Think about what that means. 200,000 years ago, if you walked out of your cave, you might encounter another kind of human, one with comparable intelligence, comparable tools. The Neanderthals had been in Europe for over 300,000 years before we arrived. They buried their dead. They made jewelry. They had language, at least of a kind. Modern humans carry, on average, between 1 and 4% Neanderthal DNA evidence that we did not just fight them. We mixed with them. We will come back to what happened to those other humans because it is one of the strangest unsolved questions in all of science. Our story begins 6 million years ago when the hominin lineage split from the great apes. 2.8 million years ago, the first humans emerged. For nearly 2 million years, they used tools and changed almost nothing. Then they learned to control fire. Cooking made food more nutritious. Better nutrition drove brain development. Light and warmth extended the usable day. A burning landscape deliberately set was also a hunting tool, driving animals, roasting small prey in place. Fire did not just make life more comfortable. It rewired the human brain. By 300,000 years ago, several species of humans were living in small hunter-gatherer societies. They planned for the future. They cared for their injured skeletons with healed breaks have been found across multiple sites. And then, 50,000 years ago, something shifted. The tools became dramatically more sophisticated. Art appeared. Long-distance trade networks emerged. Humans could not just think complex thoughts. They could share them with precision. Information could pass through language, story, and demonstration, not through genetics, which is slow. That made knowledge cumulative, and cumulative knowledge compounds. We will come back to what that compounding eventually built because it is both the source of everything we celebrate and the origin of something we rarely acknowledge. But here's what nobody expected. For 40,000 years after that cognitive leap, human life barely changed. 40,000 years, despite having a modern brain, despite language, despite the ability to accumulate knowledge, our ancestors remained one animal among many. The question was, why? If the capacity was there, why did nothing happen for so long? The answer came from agriculture. Around 12,000 years ago, in multiple places across the globe, humans began farming. And that shift was not the result of becoming smarter. It was the result of a new arrangement between human beings. Before farming, survival required every person to be capable of almost everything. The average hunter-gatherer carried a mental library we can barely imagine and physical capabilities that matched our athletes today. Farming allowed specialization, and specialization became civilization. As a group, we know more today. But as individuals, our ancestors were superior to us. This is not just a story about ancient humans. It is a story about what we gave up to get here. Every layer of civilization increased our collective power while decreasing what any single one of us could survive alone. The results are undeniable. We put robots on other planets. We mapped the human genome. The compounding of knowledge that loop opened 50,000 years ago has produced something impossible to comprehend from inside it. But fragility has a cost. We live on a foundation we did not build, surrounded by systems we do not understand. For the first time in human history, the average person cannot survive without strangers. We have been building this structure for 12,000 years, layer on layer, farming, writing, industry, networks. Our ancestors spent 200,000 years learning to survive almost anything. We have spent 12,000 years building a world they could not have imagined. The question is whether what we gave up to build it was worth it, and who exactly gets to answer that.